Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be back with you guys after a wonderful Memorial Day weekend 2021. I guess the world has officially opened back up. Everywhere you turn this weekend, people were out and about, enjoying themselves, having a good time. And actually, kudos out to the city of Chicago. The crime was actually down this Memorial Day weekend than it has been in other Memorial Day weekends. So maybe everybody's just so excited to be back out and be in each other's company. And maybe it's all about love, happiness, and good energy. Well, our co-host this evening is the one and only Miss K. Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. She is back tonight so we can dish all the dirt, talk all the top news stories. And then we have a wonderful, wonderful guest joining us. June is Black Music Month and it's Gay Pride Month. So throughout the month of June, we will be celebrating both of those. But as we continue to answer the call of helping people have the most optimal health ever, tonight we have the honor and pleasure. She was so busy last month that we couldn't get her in the month of May. We had to get her in the month of June. It's obstetrician-gynecologist and epidemiologist Dr. Erica Taylor, aka Dr. Erica 2.0. And so tonight she's going to talk to us about the self-cleaning oven. Now you bake pies, K. Renee, so I'm trying to figure out what, and you winked. And the top 10 questions asked by gynecological patients. So if nothing else, K. Renee, you won co-host by default tonight because I couldn't have had two dudes on here. So yeah. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being available. How you doing tonight?
Okay, I had a quiet holiday weekend. Just been my tummy is upset, but we're gonna make it
No.
through. It's a little bit upset, but God is good, and I'm just so glad to see my big brother and to be part of the viewing audience tonight. So, hello everyone, happy June. We're in another month. This is the month of imagination. So if you get a chance, wear something light blue
Light blue.
light blue
Light blue.
to bring out that imagination, imaginative part of your being.
With that, I say cheers to that. Very good. All right. So I don't even know where we start. I think let's start off with giving our local public health information, since we are a health and wellness show. And then we'll go into the commemorance of today and the significance of it and the fact that our president just gave really a stellar speech today. So we'll talk about that. But first off, Illinois public health officials announced today, Tuesday, 400 new or probable cases of COVID-19. We only had 8 additional deaths. The new case report on Tuesday is the lowest number since March 25th of 2020. And that was back in the beginning of the pandemic. That was when things were starting to snowball and take off. There were 17,077 dosages of the vaccine administered on Monday, and the 7-day rolling average dose rate is 45,545. And our positivity rate here in the state of Illinois now is 1.9. Wow. So that means we are opening back up very soon. Like the whole state getting ready to be like, hey, I told y'all booty call season would come back. I told you that. I said it has gone out of style, but it will be back. There you go.
And even more so, it's good to have Dr. Erica 2.0 coming on tonight, given the fact that booty call season is about to commence.
Right. How not to get that oven not working right. That's right. Amen. You're right about that. You are. Okay, very good. So today marks the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street, the massacre that desecrated just communities, people, lives, all of that. We'll pay homage tonight and remember the most shameful and deadly racist massacre in this nation's history, the Tulsa Race Massacre. And, yesterday, everywhere you turn, there were just speeches and remembrance. Our good friend Tammy Gibson, Sankofa travel her. She is on the ground there for this, groundbreaking celebration or remembrance, I should say. And so, I don't even know what to say. It happened May 31st, 100 years ago. And just to hear that, one of the survivors talk and say, we were to never talk about this ever again. I think about the number of things growing up as a child that my great grandmother and great elders would say, we can never talk about that. How do you feel about all this?
Well, first and foremost, I am really glad that now it's come out because I had shared with a friend of mine yesterday that I did not even read about this in schools. And that's the sad part. I was privileged to see the History Channel's documentary of the Tulsa 1921 Race Massacre, because that's what it was, and to see the story, it almost brings tears to my eyes now. They started from the beginning. You got to remember, we as black people, we are just so intelligent, so creative. When back in Tulsa, they had over 40 blocks of the Greenwood district, and we were self-contained. We had our own doctors, lawyers. John Rogers' grandfather, J.B. Stratford, had the best hotel that they'd ever known. And to have it being desecrated and decimated to the ground, people were killed. It just it angers me, Art. It truly does, because this was our Holocaust. I don't care what no one says. And there were more race massacres throughout our United States history, but this one right in this from May 31st till today was the massacre. And I'm just, a part of me is just anger, but a part of me, the fact that Miss Viola Fletcher testified under Congress at 107 years of age, saying there must be justice. And
Yes,
see, people don't, our white counterparts won't get this until you're able to talk about this openly
that's right.
and
That's right.
just being real. We are destined to repeat it. And so if you don't understand that, I don't know what else to tell you. But it broke my heart, Art, to see. I saw the documentary twice
Right.
um, yesterday, and a part of me was just like, I I have no words. But one thing is for sure: there must be reparations.
Yes,
Period.
absolutely.
From the
And
ancestors.
you know what I love more than anything? God allowed that lady to live now to be
Yes.
107 years old, to be able
Yes.
to share her testimony, tell her story. If nothing else, it gives me a renewed spirit of hope that any wrongs that have been done, we live in a very racist society,
Yes,
and
we do.
a lot of our own people who have done well keep us in a racist society as well too. We
That's
have a
right.
lot of racism amongst ourselves in our race, and
That's
I
right.
just think that we need to be at a level of much higher consciousness, a level of how do we take care of each other. A lot of times I question even interracial relationships, but I often wonder, does one feel guilty and sympathetic to the other? Do you really love me? Is this an obsession? I mean, you have to think about a lot of different things in this world when it comes to race nowadays.
And it's funny you mentioned about interracial relationships because I've been involved in several. And the one good thing I will say, the partners that I have chosen when I was in those relationships, we talked about that. And it wasn't if some of the men were kind of nervous, and I let them know up front, if you can't talk to me about this, we don't need to have any conversation.
Right,
Period.
right.
And
Yes,
so
no,
and so once that happened, we were able to exchange good, open dialogue. Because it's funny, I had posted in my on my social media page about the Tulsa massacre. One of my LinkedIn network persons said he had no idea that it existed, and he was just angered, and he's
right,
of Caucasian descent. So that just tells you we need to do a better job as a race
right.
talking about our history, good, bad, or indifferent, because
Hmm.
that the next generation needs to know that. Yes, they're
Hmm.
more open than perhaps we were growing up, but make no mistake, you've got to talk about it. In order for true healing to begin, this must be talked about.
Right.
Period.
Yes, yes. I couldn't agree with you more. You're absolutely right. I don't even know, where do we begin? Of course, we've talked about the reparations, hopefully there'll be something, but just so many that have been discriminated, housing situations, employment situations, just overall. And then let's not even get into the sexism of it. You know what I'm saying? The black woman and not getting her just due, and oh, absolutely, all of that. Like, I mean, LGBTQ. I mean, just all of that. And so I don't know. Today, I thought our president's speech was really good. I thought he said, we have no place to, harbor hate, just nowhere. And I agree. It's just really running rampant amongst our country right now.
I agree, and it's always to stay prayed up when you can. But at the end of the day, we must look out for each other. Period. And not
Hmm.
only there has to be some level of humanity going forward. And I think if anything, Art, this is what this pandemic has taught us to be human again. Because if
Yes.
we're not going to be human again, ladies and gents, I guarantee you, history will repeat itself and it will be much more desecrating than the first time.
Right. Right. Absolutely. You got that right. Very good. Well, today, President Joe Biden did visit Tulsa, Oklahoma to mark the centennial of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. He became the first sitting president to visit the historic Greenwood neighborhood to acknowledge, just to even acknowledge, understand, sympathize with the anarchy that took place there. Biden toured the Greenwood Cultural Center. Then he privately met with the survivors ahead of making his remarks. He made an announcement about his actions that his administration will be trying to work to erase or to remove the gap between Black and white Americans, that wealth gap, So it sounded promising. It really, I mean, I just hope it all comes together because I just want us all to live in harmony. I look at just how segregated Chicago still is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The only people in Black neighborhoods are of foreign descent, and they have businesses in our neighborhoods.
That's right, and that's a pity. And one thing we didn't talk about with the Tulsa Race Massacre, the mass graves. You think about that. You think about once that was done, once
Right,
those people had died that perished either due to gunshots or they were burned to the ground. They had to take bodies and put them in mass graves, so they to this day have not been identified.
right.
How can that's the thing, as I said, this atrocity needs to be discussed, and then moving forward, what are we going to do about it
Right.
for healing to begin?
You're correct. And they were saying that the excavation of those graves could be months and months of work just to figure all that out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we pray for the people there, hoping that I know Kim Coleman is planning to travel, but I've been following her commentary on Sister Girl Speaks on her social media, and she's been keeping us up to date, on what's being said and what's going on. But just great, great that our president did what he did today and shed the spotlight on this atrocity. It just was horrible. It really, really was.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
with that being said, let's continue to move on. A lot of people are saying today that they received emails from their corporate HR departments saying that they have now added Juneteenth as a holiday, and that Friday, June 18th, will be commemorating Juneteenth Day in most offices. I've seen this from several friends. A couple of other people said they got an email like that. And so, do you think that came as a result of today all of a sudden? Because I didn't know, and I don't mean to laugh like that, but right. Your face is saying it all. Like, I guess today, okay. I was okay. I digress. Go ahead, please fill in the blank, because I'm telling you, I kept reading people like, and then a lot of people, of course, was like, "Oh, I didn't know Juneteenth was a holiday." So now, how do you handle that situation?
Well, first and foremost, I think the notary of Juneteenth started after George Floyd. You know, it really became popular in Texas because of Houston. That's where really it started.
Right.
But once the murder of George Floyd happened, and then it happened in May. Juneteenth is June 19th. So people started becoming more aware of, oh, when was slavery truly emancipated? June 19th, 1865.
Right.
So I think that that along with the Tulsa Race Massacre. See, companies, they're not stupid. They want to be now truly politically correct. So
Right.
they don't want no craziness.
No. Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
so I mean, yes, again, kudos, but I think more importantly, companies need to be truly racially aware. Not just, it's not a black and white thing, it's a human thing. And you have
Yes.
to just be cognizant because everyone unfortunately has their own biases.
Right.
You really have to, in order to um, alleviate these biases, we must communicate. And in order to communicate, you have to be respectful. So to answer your question, Art, I think it's just a combination of a lot of stuff.
Okay. Okay. So you think that's what it is more than anything?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, a lot of people will now be celebrating June 19th as a paid holiday. Good luck to everybody on that. All right.
Hmm.
You have anything in the news you want to bring up that has happened over the weekend or today?
You know what happened over the weekend? I posted. I was in shock because I didn't think he was that old. But our beloved Captain Merl Steubing of the Love Boat, soon we'll be making of da da da. Gavin McLeod,
Yes.
who played Captain Merrill Steubing, along with he was also with Mary Tyler Moore in that gang with her, Ted Knight, um, all those people there. He died at the age of 90. From what I read, he was in poor health recently. So, it just another person of our childhood. We watched those, the Love Boat, Fantasy Island, all those good shows back in the late 70s, early 80s. All our loving celebrities are no longer with us. So I was just kind of sad. And I was hoping they would do a Love Boat reboot. So
Oh, I
now
was, you know what? That's so funny. My question to you is that if I could transport you back to either the Love Boat or Fantasy Island, which would you want to go to on vacation? Which one would you
uh,
want to go to?
let me just say this. I was in love with Ricardo Montalban. So let me just say this. If it was Fantasy Island, my fantasy would be with Mr. Rourke. Now, Tattoo can go somewhere else, but I want to be with Mr. Rourke because he was as fine as he want to be.
Okay, all right. So I take it that I could give you an all expense paid trip to Fantasy Island
But
versus the Love Boat.
but you have to find someone who looked just like Mr. Rourke because Ricardo Montalban is no longer with us. So he had to be fine, salt and pepper head as he want to be. Do you understand what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Well, if anybody can find a copy or a clone of Ricardo
Send
Montalban,
them my way.
send him to K Renee's way.
That's
She
right.
won't. I'm gonna pay for the all expense paid trip to Fantasy Island. It might end up being on Stony Island, but but I will. I promise you, I will treat you to a Fantasy Island on Stony Island with some dude that looked like Ricardo Montalban. I'll
Oh
do that.
goodness.
I promise you that.
Oh my goodness.
That's a new prize here on the show. That's your
You
one
heard it.
year anniversary gift. Yeah.
Wait, you heard it here first, ladies and gents. Now,
Right.
and this is recorded, so
Right.
find someone.
That's your 1 year anniversary gift. Right. Fantasy Island on Stony Island with a lookalike of Ricardo Montalban. Yay! We have handled that. We have handled that. Well, well, our thoughts and prayers go out though to Captain Steubing's family. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
All
And
right. You got anything else you want to bring up?
well, even though May was Health Awareness Month, I saw this article about Naomi Osaka. She is stepping away from the tennis world to deal with her mental health. And I said this privately to you and Kim. I truly not only support her, I
Yep.
applaud her. And not only that, Nike, who is one of her sponsors, said, "We are with you." And
Yeah.
that takes, you have no, yes, you do. You have an idea. That takes courage to say, you know what? I love me so much that I need to step away to
Yep.
take care of me.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
I truly applaud her from just taking a break to say what's going on with me, and then when I come back, I'm coming back stronger than ever. So kudos to Miss Naomi Osaka.
I could not agree with you more. For those of you all that are not familiar with the story, tennis great Naomi Osaka withdrew from the French Open to take care of her anxiety and deep depression. She said she could not do any more interviews, did not want to be put in that situation. She just paused the situation. I applaud her for that. A lot of times we look at people's physical performance and that she's a beast. I love what Serena Williams said. She's not built like that. I'm built like that. And that goes to show you, y'all oftentimes make jokes about Serena and this, that, and other thing, but Serena has been a beast for a long time. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in honor. Where Naomi, I could even tell in some of her interviews on national television, she's a bit uncomfortable. And when you get that type of fame and autonomy at such a young age, if I'm not mistaken, what, 14 years old, you really haven't even gotten into boys and life and puberty and all of that. So I applaud her. And I think it's great when people want to step away for mental health reasons. I really do.
And
I
here's the
agree.
thing. Here's the thing. The French press was not kind to her, but that's not surprising, right? That's why the Golden Globes, which is head by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, they're
Yep.
like, NBC is saying bye bye. French, I love France, been to France, but y'all really need to get it together when it comes
Right.
to interviewing our sisters. We don't play, and we gonna stand in solidarity, Miss Naomi. Okay?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. No, we are 100%. And for anybody who is struggling, feel as if you have issues, problems, if we actually going to keep this number here all the time. The
Yes.
National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. And just share if you feel like something's wrong. Send messages. Keep watching this show. It's all about encouragement and how we can, help people do exactly what they need to do to live their best lives. All right. What else we got coming up? You got
Uh,
something else?
oh heck yeah, because this story is near and dear to my heart, and I was mad as you know what when I heard that the United States Postal Service,
Oh,
is about to raise their stamp price to 58 cents. I said, what in the hell?
yeah.
First of all, let me just tell y'all, I have still not gotten my mail in over 2 weeks. I have ordered, yeah, yes, yes.
Wait a minute. You are kidding me. That's crazy. And did you do what I told you about the little app that lets you know what's coming? Because baby, it come. If they tell me it's coming, it comes. I just know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And you still have not gotten any mail.
Not
Oh
only
wow.
that, I ordered a package May the 1st. What's today, Art? June the 1st.
Right.
It's still in like a holding pattern, like when you're traveling and you're trying to land. So even though I will give some sympathy to the new manager at our local branch because he is trying, but he needs some help, y'all. And then to hear that we're getting an increase. Now check this out. I've got to read this. It will be the first class stamps from 55 cents to 58 cents as part of a host of price hikes and service changes due to reduced debt for the beleaguered agency. These will take effect August 29th. Not only that, they're going to reduce hours nationwide, Postal Service hours. And I said, Lord, because of that fool DeJoy, who appointed, who needs to get the F out. President Biden, if you listen, and I know you are, appoint someone who is competent at the United States Postal Service. Hello?
Right. Unbelievable. Candace just made a point. She said your audio seems to be low.
Okay.
Thank you, Candace. We'll check on it. If not, we'll have it fixed for tomorrow evening. We're trying to work out all the kinks now. We appreciate you guys for letting us know things like that. What else we need to do? Wait a minute. 58 cents a stamp. Is that what you're telling me is what a stamp will now cost? Is 58 or 56?
58 cents. They're going to raise rates on first class stamps from 55 cents to 58 cents. That is what I said.
Well, now let me tell you, how often do you use stamps?
Oh, not as often as I used to because
Right.
everything is done electronically. But still, I guarantee you, this is just melee to come. If they're going to raise the first class stamps, I guarantee they're going to start raising priority mail, express mail, and that is
Right.
something I use more than
Your
anything.
deliveries, things like that. Right.
Exactly,
Got you.
exactly.
Well, I was getting ready to say, I remember when I was younger, whenever my grandmother would go shopping, a thing of postage stamps was something you always got. Matter of fact, the cashiers used to sell postage stamps at the register. Remember, I'm not
Hmm.
trying to date you or date myself, but I don't now when I buy stamps, I put them in my wallet. And when I go, oh, I need a stamp, I know it's a stamp in my wallet. But other than that, I very seldom use stamps now. I believe in paying everything online, all of that.
I agree, but here's the thing: why go to this price hike now? They know they've been effing up as it relates to quality customer service, lack of delivery, hint hint,
Right.
lack of consistent mail delivery, and again, the Postmaster General, DeJoy or De Stupid, needs to go. President Biden needs to just appoint someone new, someone who's big. See, here's the thing: DeJoy had never been in the Postal Service. How about
No,
that?
no. What didn't he get that job on favoritism or cronyism or right?
Nepotism, favoritism, cronyism, all of
Cronyism,
the
all them isms. He got in on
isms.
all
That's
them
it.
isms. He
That's
did.
right.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna have to start doing a little. I mean, everything is going up. Food prices is going up. They say even air conditioners now, the price of an air
I
conditioner is going
know.
up. Right.
I
You've not
know.
seen any air conditioners on sale. You know how the big box stores will have air conditioning? No, not this time because everything like that is going up. And it's just, I don't know. And again, what did we say? The roaring 20s and the Great Depression. I got a feeling we getting ready to experience both of them at the same time.
That's why it's best to stay prayed up.
Yep.
Even though you announce about the numbers are decreasing, everything is about to open up. I would be really wondering to see after the Memorial Day weekend how people have been doing. Yes, we're getting more vaccinations, but I'm still very cautious. I'm following your advice, Chat Daddy. I will be wearing my mask until June, November
Yes.
2025.
Yes, absolutely. 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 Well, very good. All right. Well, hello to everybody who's joining us tonight. Wamelda, Tammy, Joseph, Candace, Carolyn. Hello, everybody. We appreciate you guys. These are our faithful watchers. Tammy says she'll be masked up and doing the same thing as well, too. I'm still wearing my mask. I have gotten a little bit more comfortable. What I'm doing now, I definitely not have been wearing these as much, but I have bought so many paper masks
Hmm.
that now I keep some in the glove compartment. I keep them in the bag I travel with. I even keep one in my keychain. So if I go somewhere and forget in a store or whatever, I'll at least have a mask on me to put on and, put it back or whatever. So no, I'm still trying to do my part, very much still washing my hands, sanitizing, cleaning as much as possible, all of that. Yes, all of that. So it makes good sense. Yes. All right. Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad that you guys are back with us. It's our first show of June 2021. It's our first show of our new summer hours. Keep in mind, the show will only be on Monday through Wednesday nights now. Monday through Wednesday nights. Make sure you guys check us out, 7 p.m. Central Time, uh, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Kay Renee is our guest co-host. We appreciate her. Always a great conversation when she's here. We have a great time, and we're reflecting on the fact that it was Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to everyone who has served our country and everyone who continues to serve our country. And also, we are remembering the 100th year, the centennial of the Tulsa Massacre. And our President Joe Biden, spoke in Tulsa today. And if nothing else, we've got to end all this racism and the hate that is intertwined with the racism, you know?
Amen. I couldn't have said it better.
Right. Yes. So coming up in just a little bit, we have a treat for you ladies tonight. Ladies, all you ladies who are watching, if you could contact your friends, tell them to sign in, join us. Don't forget they can go to YouTube. You can also go to Facebook, The Real Chat Daddy Show. Send somebody a text message. We have a wonderful doctor coming on tonight. She's an obstetrician, gynecologist, and epidemiologist. She's actually from Harvey, Illinois. Sister girl is from Harvey. And then on a side note, she and her husband make some of the best barbecue ever. They have a barbecue catering business, so we won't talk about that. But yeah, they do. They have some great barbecue. But she's an amazing woman, and I'm looking forward to us talking to her tonight. And I other than how you doing, is not much I can say. So we're gonna let her talk about her 10 self-cleaning oven tips. Okay, okay, yes. All right. Anything else going on in your world?
What I saw a story of a retired FBI agent convinced a woman that she was on secret probation.
And
And
wait, was
she
he seducing her?
well, let me go down to the full title of this article. Retired FBI agent convinced woman she was on secret probation, scammed her into paying for his house, Mercedes, and pickup truck. This retired FBI agent scammed a Granbury, Texas woman. Check out the price. Out of $800,000 across several years. He was convincing her that she was on secret probation for drug crimes in Judge Anderson's court in Austin, Texas. Now, what there Judge Anderson on the TV show? I
Yeah,
swear. But okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna stop. Anywho, prosecutors also allege that the retired agent convinced this woman and her family was trying to take money she had inherited from her grandmother and that she should distance herself from them. So here's the agent. We're gonna give him his name because see, this is just ridiculous. This is
So
bad.
wait. This man was really an FBI agent, a former
Yes,
FBI agent,
yes.
and
William
duped.
Rostoin, 62. He was charged with 7 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of wire fraud conspiracy, 1 count of false impersonation of a federal officer, 1 count of engaging in monetary transactions and property derived from unlawful activity, and 1 count of false statements to law enforcement. He retired from the FBI Dallas field office in October 2015, and that's when the alleged crimes began to start.
An FBI agent, K. Renee, is supposed to be one of the most honest, upright, upstanding people. I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know what to say because this is just ridiculous that an FBI agent would dupe a woman out of her money like that.
And guess what he bought? Federal court records say that this man, Stone, that's his real last name, used this money to buy a house in Colleyville, Texas, various motor vehicles. He bought a Mercedes CLS, a Toyota Tacoma, and then used he also used it to improve his kitchen and bathrooms.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. All right. So save that. We'll talk about that after our next guest. And matter of fact, that's a perfect segue. With the country opening back up, during the height of the pandemic here on this show, we said that all booty calls were called off until this pandemic was completely over. I said it was going to be level 6 before we could have booty calls again. But all of this great weather we're having, people getting their vaccine shots, y'all out mingling, dancing, having a good time. That means booty calls getting ready to be in full effect again. And so in order to make sure your oven, that's why I'm glad I had a female co-host tonight, because, we're going to talk about the oven this evening. We want to make sure your oven is working properly. The pilot light, everything is good. We don't want nothing to happen to your oven. If you have any questions about what your oven is, our next guest will help us to understand. She's an obstetrician, gynecologist, and epidemiologist. All 3 of those mean she know a lot of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Dr. Erica Taylor, aka Dr. Erica 2.0. And when I tell you she's fabulous, she is fabulous. And she's from Harvey. Give it up for Dr. Erica Taylor.
Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Dr. Erica.
Hi, Kay Renee. Hi, Art.
Hey, Doctor. Good. How are you? You look great. So glad to have you here with us.
I'm doing well. How you been?
Good. Wonderful holiday weekend. Just waiting on the weather to get warm. Excited to have you here tonight, Doctor. You heard our intro and how we were talking about, people going to get back out here mingling and doing the right things. And we want these ladies to be healthy and safe. And so we really appreciate you coming on tonight to help us better get everybody in good shape. And for women, this is beautiful.
Thank you for having me here. It's quite an honor to be here with you tonight. And it's definitely cuffing season. Everybody has that vaccine and they're ready to mingle.
Okay.
I don't know if they all single, but they're ready to mingle.
Okay, right. And that's what I think too. I think some of them, everybody out here ready to mingle.
Okay.
So, Doctor, how have you fared the pandemic? Everything's been good. I'm sure you've been very busy, just dealing with people. I'm sure the routine to a doctor's office was different too.
It has definitely changed. So we converted to doing some telehealth visits. Unfortunately, with some of our pregnant patients, they still had to come in. And so we didn't have that as an option. And a lot of our patients, they just like to come in anyway, sometimes for social hour or what have you. But, just getting adjusted to wearing the face mask and goggles and, just being fully in full gear for everything, for deliveries down to visits, and really having to space those patients out. It really was a big adjustment for us.
Wow. Well, thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate you. The true definition of a first responder, and really you are the deliverer of life. So,
absolutely.
Here you are from Harvey. What made you want to become a doctor? And we're very proud of you. We consider Harvey our cousins to the South. So, that's what Chicago considers it. So, what made you want to become a doctor?
So I was always very interested in science and math. I excelled in school, loved reading. And so when I was a senior in high school, it was the summer before my senior year in high school, I ended up being diagnosed or misdiagnosed with a ruptured appendix. So a young Black girl, at this time I was actually living in Arkansas. My dad decided to uproot me and move me to rural Arkansas, population 1,000 with one stoplight and a part-time bank. But
oh, Lord.
I spent my last 3 years of high school there. And so while there, you come in with pelvic pain as a young African-American woman, it was only 2 things. Either I had an STD or I had to be pregnant. And I knew it was not either, unless it was immaculate conception or immaculate infection. And so I ended up being, I was sent back and forth from the hospital for over a week, dehydrated. They had an IV shunt in my arm and just kept sending me back and forth. They had no idea what was going on. Finally, my dad was like, enough, we're going to get you over to Memphis, which is an hour away. So I ended up being ambulanced to Memphis. They diagnosed me via CT scan. The next morning I had surgery. My appendix had ruptured. And so really for me, I wanted to basically be a physician so that I could impact my community and so that no other young girl would have to go through that same situation.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Really, it is. And that's what this show is all about. People and their testimonies of where they come from, where they are now, and what was in place to just help you get there. And so really just a beautiful story. Isn't that wonderful, Kay Renee?
Absolutely. And one thing, she has that knockout punch. Not only she's an OB-GYN, she's an epidemiologist. So talk to us about that. How did that come about?
Absolutely. So of course, my route to medicine was circuitous. You know, I was in love or in lust. I'll say it probably was in lust. And so, you know, I didn't focus as much as I probably should have in undergrad. And so it was a way for me to, I was initially thinking I would go and work for the Centers for Disease Control, CDC. And so, you know, I ended up doing, it was like a lot of research focus. And so I missed that patient exposure. And so I ended up working, shadowing a physician at Cook County, Stroger now, but Cook County back then. She's actually still around. And so ended up shadowing her, going over to Winfield Moody on the north side, shadowing her. And I just realized that I wanted to do something more hands-on, worked in the trauma unit, and I was hooked in regards to medicine at that point. In regards to epidemiology, I've always been very interested in prevention and public health. And so really this degree has really, I put it to work during COVID because I was out here, you know, collecting information, trying to educate people just in regards to the vaccine and just to COVID in general, just because there are so many myths that are out there. And so I just felt like, you know, as a part of the Black community, it was, you know, the onus was upon me to kind of just to educate people. And so I'll educate people on the just bypassers on the street.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Very nice. Well, tonight you're here to talk to us about the self-cleaning oven. And so, and you also have 10 questions that people often, you know, patients often ask you. So we're going to turn it all over to you. We are all ears, and really we're just honored to have you here with us this evening.
Thank you again. And again, you can feel free to jump in there if you have any questions, or if some questions pop up in the chat, I'm here to answer them. I don't know if we get through all 10, but I'll do my best.
Very good. Go right ahead.
So I just first want to just talk about this self-cleaning oven. And so I think that's like one of the main reasons that women come in is because they feel like something is off with their vagina. So the AKA oven. And so really, you know, if you think back to like as kids, like going to your grandmother's house or your mom, everybody had that red douche bag in the bathroom. And so really this whole thought of like the vagina has to be squeaky clean came about. And so really when we use things such as douche or we place soaps into the vagina, we're washing out the good bacteria. So the vagina has good and bad bacteria. And so when we do things such as douching or taking a bath with bubbles and things like that, you're actually washing out the good bacteria. And that allows the bad bacteria to kind of take over and overgrow. And that's how you end up developing things like yeast infections, or I like to say sometimes it's like baking a cake. So you need yeast to bake a cake in the oven. And so really you're creating an environment, perfect environment for an infection. And so we have, you know, women that come in, it's just like, oh, I have a discharge. Discharge is normal. The vagina should not be bone dry. So it's their glands that actually lubricate, that allow you, you know, to have intercourse and things like that. And so many women will come in and they'll say, oh, you know, I have this weird discharge. And so then I would start to question, like, is there any issue? Is there an odor? Is there an abnormal color? Is it bloody? Are you having any pain with sex or pain with urination? And so then we start to explore a few more things. And we're starting to see a lot of trends now with the vaginal steaming, or these V-spas that are popping up all over the place. Right. Where you go and you get these, like the thought is that it can help to increase if you're infertile, that it can make you fertile by having this steaming of a particular type of herbs and things like that. Or it can help to cure fibroids and things of that nature. And so, you know, really, I don't think there's any scientific basis in regards to the V-steaming, but it's very popular right now. And I think they're charging between $70 to $95 per session.
Yes. I know several people who do that. So somebody did just send me a text message. So you're saying no to that, or
correct?
Should it be in moderation? Oh, no at all.
Correct. So your vagina is actually designed by nature. It should clean itself. And so basically you should just clean the vagina with warm water. And so I know a lot of people, they like to get up in there. And so when you're doing that, in essence, you're washing out that good bacteria, and the bad bacteria can take over. So you can get things such as a bacterial vaginosis or BV. And so it's like a fishy odor, gray in nature, and it has a very distinct smell. I've become quite capable in assessing it. So I've even diagnosed some people who, at the gym. So, it's a very, very distinct smell.
It is. And that is, it's funny, Dr. Erica, you mentioned that, because when you're younger, my mom had taught me, she was a biology teacher. She even taught me, you must douche. You got to douche. And then as I got older, kept doing that. But why wouldn't I go to my semi-annual OB/GYN exam, get that pap smear? They're like, why are you, and she would know it. She's like, you've been douching a little bit too much, because I smell something that's not right. I'm like,
right.
What the heck is going on? So she even recommended you should not douche at all. So.
Well, now, real quick, doctor, before you respond back, and we kind of talked about this earlier, Kay Renee, with like our culture and our people, and because that was something, and as the doctor said, that big red bottle on the back of the bathroom door. I mean, every house you went to, if it was a female in that house, that red bottle was on the back of that door. But as I got older, that red bottle disappeared. So, doctor, was there something back then that was different than women now or something? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anything different. I just think that was just, I think we learn more. So I think we do better after we have more education. And so I just think like in time, we start to just make improvements. So there used to be like really, really high absorbency tampons back in the day. Right. And so people used to get this condition called toxic shock syndrome, right, because they were using too high of an absorbency. So again, it's like, as we learn more, we do better. That's right. And so like we ended up going from those red bottles to like, they started selling like the individual, like the Massengill douche and Summer's Eves. Right. And they have all these other washes as well now.
Yep.
Okay, because I was going to say, I do remember the red bottle behind the door days. Right, behind that bathroom door. All right, well, doctor, continue on with your lesson.
All right, so with our top 10, so general gynecological health, that's one of the main reasons why women come to see me. So that would be an annual exam. And so even if you're not having a pap smear, we still recommend that you see your gynecologist once a year. And so in that gynecological exam, what occurs is a clinical breast exam. So checking to see if there is any issues with lumps in the breast. Also, that's an opportunity to teach the woman about doing her own self-breast exam, because many women or their partners will often find their lumps. Also checking to see if there's any abnormal discharge or bleeding and things of that nature. And then if the woman is 45 and above, I would recommend a colonoscopy. And so again, rest in heaven to Chadwick Boseman. I think we're going to start seeing those numbers go even lower in regards to our community.
Yes.
Just because usually when we get diagnosed, it's much more severe compared to our counterparts. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons we talk about these healthcare disparities being, unearthed because of the COVID pandemic. We've been dealing with healthcare disparities for over a century. Yeah. I mean, since we've been here in these yet to be United States of America, we've been dealing with healthcare disparities.
I agree. Yep. You just said a mouthful. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so also during that exam, we would do a pap smear. And so there used to be a time when if you were sexually active, you got a pap smear regardless of your age. So if that girl was 13, you would start the pap smears earlier. And so in 2010, new guidelines came out stating that we would start doing pap smears in ages 21 and up, just because we were doing way too many interventions. And so the thing about it is that as a young woman, you're more likely to have HPV, which is a human papillomavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of these girls are able to actually clear it. About 80% can clear it from the body spontaneously. And so what was happening is that they were ending up getting a procedure called a LEAP that basically helps to prevent that from spreading to developing into cancer. And so that would increase their risk of having like a preterm delivery, preterm births, and miscarriages. And so the thought is that if their body is going to clear it, we should maybe wait a little bit longer before starting to have that initial pap smear. And so now starting between the ages of 21 and 29, the current recommendation is every 3 years. And these guidelines are constantly changing. It used to be every year. And we still have a lot of patients that are still like, I have to have that, that pap smear every year. And so, if they have a history of like abnormal pap smears, we definitely recommend doing it more frequently. And then if the patient requests it, if it makes her feel comfortable, I would still do it. And we're still having sometimes issues where the insurance company, though, is pushing back because of the change in the guidelines.
Wow.
Once we hit 30, then you can do the Pap alone every 3, or you do the Pap smear along with something called HPV testing. And if both of those are negative, then you can actually assess the patient every 5 years. And most recently, they actually came out with all you have to do is check HPV, and it's every 5 years. We really haven't bought into that yet. And so I just still feel that, the Pap smear along with the HPV is going to give us the most bang for our buck at this point. Okay. And then as far as when to stop, so 65 is typically the cutoff. And that's in patients that have a history of normal Pap smears, who have not had a history of something called dysplasia or precancerous cells. And so we would continue, if they did have a history of that, then we would continue those Pap smears in those women. If a woman has had a hysterectomy where the cervix was removed, we also would stop Pap smears after that, because the Pap smear is actually assessing the cervical cells, and we're looking for pre-cervical cancer cells or cervical cancer cells. Mm-hmm. And then in regards to breast exam, then we would order mammogram typically at 40, unless there was a family history. Then we would start 10 years earlier than when, let's say if her mom had breast cancer, we would start 10 years earlier than when the mom was diagnosed.
Wow. Very good. I mean, that was a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, no, I get it, because, with these virtual visits, now people going back to the office. I was reading recently where they said people were foregoing having cancer screenings, all of that. So, doctor, in-person visits are definitely picking back up, I would imagine.
Absolutely. They are. Mammograms and all of that, because at one point they had put a hold on them, but all of those things are starting to pick up. And we're also seeing that uptick in patients that are deciding to have the vaccines as well. So I think they feel a little bit more comfortable about venturing out.
Very good. Kay Renee, do you have anything you want to say to the doctor? I feel like we've learned so much this evening. I really, I'm glad again to have a female co-host tonight, because she would have lost me an hour ago, but I got it. Yeah, I love it. Go right ahead.
No, I'm just glad that is someone that is disseminating this information looks like me, and everything that Dr. Erica is saying is truly on point. So thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Dr. Erica, I do have a question.
Okay.
With people who have contracted COVID, especially females, has there been any long-term effects when it comes to women's reproductive health? I met a young lady who was telling me that she gave birth to her baby, and after that they gave her the COVID vaccine. But I was trying to figure out and then I know several women who gave birth and had COVID. Do we know of any long-term effects of COVID and the reproductive system?
So I know this is one of the myths that's out there. Is there some thought that it can actually affect a woman's fertility? And so there hasn't been any proven data yet in regards to that. I was actually just talking to a woman today who said that, she's pregnant with twins. And so she's like, her fertility is just fine. And so we've actually seen, it seems like an uptick in regards to the number of pregnancies. I guess, cabin fever, people were inside more. And so, you know what we do. And
I was getting ready. That's why you're a perfect guest tonight. You are helping us to better understand, because we want people safe and sorry. It's important that women, make sure everything is in order, and go see your doctors, ladies. Dr. Erica, I can't say thank you enough. We really appreciate you for taking time out of your schedule. Just absolutely.
You're very welcome.
Kay Renee, do you have another question for her before we let her go?
I just want to know I know there are going to be a lot of young girls who are watching this program and look to you as a shero. Who is your shero?
I would have to say my shero is my 7th grade teacher. Her name is Mrs. Washington. And so she was basically someone who always had a positive and kind word for every student. Like, I don't know, being in 7th grade, it's just like, oh, were you glowing? And, it's like you're going through that awkward phase. But she was just always just so encouraging in regards to, making sure that we did our best. And she's someone that actually, when I think back to someone who, I guess I would call it tough love, I'll never forget when I was in her class. I ended up turning in an exam, and she marked several questions wrong because she couldn't make out my B from my D. And at that point, I started writing in all capital letters. And so that really was like a lifelong lesson for me to make sure that everything is legible. And so I still keep in touch with her to this day. And she's kind of just followed my journey to medicine. And so I think it's important that we find people who can mentor us. Also, sponsors are important as well.
Yes, I agree. I think that is so beautiful. That is great. I remember when penmanship was really the mark of excellence. My grandmother was like that. Your penmanship had to be perfect. But then, see, doctor, you probably don't write like a doctor. I write like a doctor. See, you can barely read. I bet yours is very legible. But yes, absolutely. Doctor, I understand you have quite a fitness regimen. I've seen some pictures recently of where you are quite fit. Is there a secret to your workout routine?
I think it's not really a secret. It's just like I just make a commitment to myself. And so the same way that I get up, brush my teeth, take a shower, I make a commitment to fitness. And so I find that if I get up and do it first thing in the morning, like this morning, I got up and I did bar. And so I'm also on Peloton. So I'm just very, very active. And so I had a goal in 2020. I wanted to actually do a fitness competition. So I love weightlifting. And so just look for me in 2022 in regards to that competition.
All right, look, that means another guest spot on the show, because then we'll be celebrating this victory. We'll be celebrating this victory.
That sounds great. I'm claiming it.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Erica, we can follow you on Instagram, correct?
Correct.
Erica 2.0, yes.
At Dr. Erica 2.0.
Yes, make sure you guys follow Dr. Erica 2.0 on Instagram. She is absolutely amazing, phenomenal, fabulous. Not only is she creating and bringing the world to life, she lives a fabulous life as well, too. She really does. We just want to thank you so much. We are so proud of you being from Harvey and then to move to a small town after that. And here you are, such a superstar and really dedicated to the overall well-being of our people. We thank you so much for that. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Erica Taylor, Dr. Erica 2.0. See you later. Oh, that was great. That was excellent. Yay. I feel confident now. I feel like, I don't want to be like that FBI agent, though. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's talking about, I think that's horrible. Can you hear me? Did I lose you?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm just having a different facial expression. You know how I am about my facial expressions.
I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. That is just crazy that you would dupe that lady like that. Oh my God. But you know what? I know a lot of stories where people have been duped like that. Oh, I know people that have bought houses, people that have drained people's bank accounts. I have, look, I now want to tell these backstories. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it's some backstories. It really is some backstories.
And I guarantee you the number of those stories have increased because of the pandemic, even more so.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right about that. We were talking last week about Oprah's new book, What Hurt You? Excellent. I downloaded it and I listen to it every night before I go to bed. And you'd be surprised just the things that come back to me in dreams after I listen to a chapter of what it has talked about. And I know you're really not supposed to go to bed with, heavy things on your mind. But a lot of times when your dreams are so vivid, rough, disturbing, you now want to go back and figure out what was the missing piece, where was the problem, how could this be handled differently? And it really has just helped me in many ways. And so really great. We'll have to have a more in-depth conversation about it here on the show one evening. We will.
I agree, because dreams, they tell you a lot about yourself, and, they're part of the subconscious mind, right? So,
right.
It's really good if I'm hoping when you get that dream interpreter, you definitely give me a call, because I would like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For many years, there are a couple of things that people don't know about me, but I've studied astrology. I love astrology. And I believe, I've been told several times that I have a prophetic spirit. And I have seen things and felt things. And so I now want to look more into the prophetic spirit and the world of the mystical realm and how it all works. I think I'd be really great at it. So, you know, that's how that all works. All right, let's see what we got going here. Joseph said there's a scam asking people to buy gift cards on Marketplace to buy cars. Then you scam. Oh, yeah. No, I don't do anything on the internet. I don't do any. Matter of fact, I've been getting a lot of weird friend requests lately. I'm not interested in being friends with none of these people. No, I do not care about Bitcoin. I want green money, real money. I want in God we trust. Own it. You understand me? I want my lack of deficiency to be in Bitcoins, not in God's we trust. I want it to overflow. So absolutely. All right. Well, coming up on tomorrow night's show, you guys, we have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure. Tomorrow night, in honor of Black Music Month, we welcome to the show jazz recording artist and brand ambassador Baritone. Baritone will be here with us tomorrow night. We're going to have a lot of fun talking to him about how his career got started, who are some of his musical influences, and if Baritone could work with anybody, who would it be? Who would it be? So we'll talk to Baritone tomorrow night. And then, as you guys all know, June 1st kicks off Pride Month. And with that being said, tomorrow night we'll welcome the amazing Miss Anna Deshawn. And Anna is an LGBTQ plus advocate and the creator of the Cube, which is queer. I couldn't say it. Cube and queer. Queer trans people of color, faces in entertainment and media. We'll talk about her new project, all of that good stuff. So that's tomorrow night.
Very informative. I like to think of Baritone as the
Wait, we can't hear you. What? Huh?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying I like to think of Baritone as the Nat King Cole.
Yes.
2020s.
Yes, we love Baritone. We do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We'll have a lot of great interviews with people during the month of June, Black Music Month. All right. Well, darling, if there's nothing else we can talk about, we can knock it on out since we're doing summer days and summer hours and all that great stuff.
Wait a minute. Before you knock it out, you got to tell the people about your master class week and also the 26th anniversary of the Real Chat.
Yes, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So listen, Sunday, June 13th, if you're in the Chicagoland area, from 4 to 8 p.m. 4 to 8 are the hours. We'll be at Teriyaki Madness, which is a wonderful teriyaki stir-fry restaurant, fresh teriyaki made to order. The event is my relationship chat. It's been 26 years. 11 couples have met as a result of coming to the chat. We have some wonderful vendors that will be there. Just a good time will be had by all. Tickets are only $26 per person, but that includes you getting an entree, a complimentary beverage, and of course, entertainment. So all you have to do is take your smartphone or tablet, scan this code right here on the phone. That's all you have to do. Scan that code right there, right there. Oh, no, this way. Right there. Scan it. That. Yep. It'll pop up. That'll reserve your ticket. You'll get an email with all the instructions of what you need to do. So just take that phone, put it up to the camera. Look, open the camera. Bloop, bloop. That's how it works. And that's how you can get thy ticket to be at thy event. Okay?
Yes.
All right. That's how that all works. Oh, I even learned how to lean over to make sure I'm still there talking. And then on the 13th, the 12th. Let's rewind it a little bit. I'm tongue-tied this evening. Must have been too much barbecue yesterday. So on the 12th, if you guys did not know this is Effective Communication Month, the month of June. And this is perfect for any small business owner or entrepreneur. I am basically teaching you how to do it yourself marketing, how to reach the masses. If you're trying to build a podcast, if you're trying to build a digital media show, whatever it is that you're trying to build, I can help you with at least the logistics of getting it off the ground, what you need to do. A lot of you all have really great information and should be presenters on major shows. They're still doing interviews like this on major shows, and you need to be ready for that. You need to be ready for prime time, as we say. You always have to be. What is Joseph saying to us? So the event is on the 12th, 11 a.m. Central Time. For more information on that, Joseph said all curfew restrictions are lifted here in Ohio at 12 a.m. Oh, okay. So you guys can hang out a little bit later in Ohio. That's good to know. I didn't know there were restrictions there, but I could imagine that, especially if the cases are up.
Absolutely.
Let me put the information up for the event on the 12th. Yes, ma'am. What were you getting ready to say?
Well, I know they expired now because somebody won that $1 million in Ohio, so they looking.
Right, they out trying to spend that loot, that loot cheaty. Right, they trying to spend them dollars, babe. Yep. Right. So that's the event information for June 12th, 11 a.m. And there you go, right there. Okay. All right. So that's for the seminar, webinar, and then the other is for the relationship chat. All right, Kay Renee. Anything else? You got a nugget for us tonight?
Of course, it is June. It is June, and this is a very special nugget, given the fact I am the queen of acronyms. So June is this: J, find joy in your heart. U, seek understanding. N, be nurturing, and E, maintain enthusiasm and excellence. And
very nice. Very, very, very nice. That was hot. That was hot. For more information, please go to karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. There's a complete repertoire of just information for you to pull from at karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. All right. What we do on this show, we're health and wellness. We want to remind you guys that we will be wearing masks until Juvember of 2025. This is how we do it. This mask tonight says, be you, boo. Be you. Be bold. Be beautiful. Oh, I like that. Oh, I do. Fish scales almost. Yes. Very nice. Oh, very nice. Yes. You can look, you can use that for some other time too, That wink does it for me every time. That wink lets me know you understand, that you understand. That wink does it every time. All right. So here you go. Make sure you guys wear your mask. I continue to still sanitize you guys, grabbing doorknobs, pressing buttons, garbage can lids, all of that. Sanitize, clean your hands, do what's necessary. Make sure those hands are nice and clean. Look at there. Looky. I know. Lord, poor thing. I was out the other day and this man having some issues. He came into the atrium of the mall I was shopping in and he bathed in hand sanitizer. He put it all in his hair. He put it all on his armpits. Poor thing. I felt so sorry for the man, but yeah, he bathed in the hand sanitizer. So
wow.
I know. So we've got to do something to help our homeless population here in the city of Chicago. We really do.
Amen.
All right. Well, with that being said, you guys, we will be back tomorrow night. See, we got it over and done. We know summer is approaching. We know you guys enjoy this show. We will be booking, more guests so that we'll have double guests. But this was our first show of June, and we had Dr. Erica booked, and we wanted to have her here tomorrow night. We have two great guests, and as we said before, it's starting to be summer hours. So we want to get it over, and get out the way. All right. Okay, Renee, anything else you want to say before we say good night to everybody?
No, just again, happy June. Remember, think about being imaginative this month. Whatever it is you want to imagine, create, and definitely it will manifest.
Yes, very good. I like that. All that sounds good. It does sound like Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. It does. Yes, it does. On behalf of yours truly, Art Chat Daddy Sims, and my wonderful guest co-host, the amazing Miss K. Renee, we really do appreciate her. Oh, wait a minute. So Joseph says there will be the next $1 million drawing tomorrow. He, I guess, played a ticket, and then whoever else won the ticket before, they live
What?
less than 2 miles from here. Well, Joseph, look,
All right
I'm
now.
coming to visit you, Joseph. I'm a
Okay.
bloodhound. I'll be able to find out who that was. I'll find them. I know what a millionaire looks like. I do. I can tell them. You know what I'm saying? I can
That's
smell them.
right.
I'm a
That's right.
millionaire detective. I am. Yes. All right. Well, on behalf of Miss K. Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge, yours truly, the millionaire detector. I can smell a millionaire, honey, a mile away. I really can. We love you guys. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. Be safe. Do what you need to do. Wait, what Joseph? Oh, he said yes. Couldn't believe it right here. Wow. All right, Joseph, that is interesting. We need to find out who that millionaire is then. All right, you
Okay.
guys, have a safe night. God bless. Be well. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today was just a day of just reckoning on so many levels. And then again, we want to send our condolences down to Miami, Florida, and Houston, Texas. There were
Yes.
2 more mass shootings this past weekend at nightclub situations, and this has got to stop. This is so sad and horrible. And I'm sure next week when we come back, we'll talk about that, because most of these incidents happen in places where people want to come out and enjoy themselves, celebrate, and it turns into just such a horrendous crime scene and just horrible in many ways. All right. Well, God bless you guys. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7. We out of here.
Bye.
Bye.